Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Marine Technical Training Academy. This is the video of a series of videos that we are going to do related with the conversion of boats, cars and airplanes. Okay, this is the idea. When you remove the actual gasoline engine, the engine is bolted in the bell housing. The block of the engine have special holes, threaded holes, where you install the bolts to connect with the bell housing. Inside of the bell housing, actually, you have your clutch, the clutch of the car. This is an important part because right now I don't have the gasoline engine. I have an electric motor. It's a cylindrical motor, smaller in comparison with the big gas or diesel engine. How can I attach that electric motor with the old bell housing? Okay, you need to create a new plate where you can install in one side the electric motor and in the other side the transmission with the bell housing. The design of that plate, the design of that flange is critical, and that part was a project of Mr. Julian Belalcázar and a group of students. Those students, they did in a CNC machine, they create in the computer with the software SolidWorks, they create the flange, the plate, to connect the motor with the old transmission. They did a great job. They have the video with PowerPoint, with the process step by step, the calculation, the measurements, the special tool that they create to measure the external dimensions of the plate and pass to the computer those coordinates in order to create the plate. They cut the plate with the machine, with the robot. Those are the components. And finally, they create that wonderful plate. They use steel A36, and after that they test the flange for static loads, dynamic loads and torsional loads with a special software, and they discover that picture. The green areas are areas with a good response to extreme loads. The orange ones, acceptable. Basically, all the areas are green, the majority, and a little orange, acceptable. What is the meaning of that? That the flange is perfect. The flange, the plate, will be working perfect all the time. However, they create additional supports, additional motor mounts in the motor to avoid oscillation, to avoid fatigue in the plate. Later we are going to check that those brackets, brackets to support better the motor, to avoid excessive flexion on the plate. This is the plate created in a steel A36. You can design the plate in other non-ferrous alloys, for example, duraluminum. Duraluminum is a great material for that purpose. You can use both of them. In this particular case, they use a steel A36. That's great. And the result was this. Okay, great. If you see the motor here, they keep the friction plate in front. This is not because they want to use the previous clutch. No. This is because they use, Julian and Oscar, that friction plate to work like an absorber of momentum, especially when the motor is spinning in one direction and you want to reverse the rotation of the motor. They use the friction plate like a shock absorber of excessive momentum, exactly the same that we use in the boats. You remember that video where in a diesel transmission I show the flex plate? In the flex plate, in the center, in the hub, like I showed over there, enter the input shaft of the transmission. And when the motor changed the direction of rotation, those springs in the flex plate absorb that momentum and keep the movement, the relative movement in between the motor and the transmission smooth. Okay, that's the function. This is an absorber of a momentum or flex plate. It's not a friction plate. They use the original friction plate for that purpose. You can replace that one for other flex plate, the typical flex plate that we use in marine application. In this particular case, to save money, they use the same friction plate. Okay, other important thing. You remember that in the previous gasoline engine, we have an important sensor that is critical when you try to start the engine. You remember that if that sensor is not sensing the signal, the position of the rotor in the gasoline engine, in particular the position of the crankshaft, the engine never starts. Okay, in this particular design, the electrical design, is important the position of the rotor in the electric motor for purposes of a sense of rotation. It's important keep that sensor, the crankshaft sensor, in the harness, because the crankshaft sensor allow that the rest of the system start. For that purpose, they keep that sensor running. But how you integrate the crankshaft position sensor in the new system? Okay, because they are genius, they introduce a new gear, pinion, big one. They design that gear, and that gear have the pickup, the trigger position, that position where there are no teeth in that point. And this is the point that will be sending the signal when the sensor is located. They create a special bracket to install the original crankshaft position sensor, that bracket. And they create in a special material, in a special polymer, they create the bracket, the white bracket, to insert the sensor in the bracket in the bell housing. And additionally, they create a wonderful mechanism with a bolt and nut to adjust the gap in between, because you remember, if this is the wheel and this is the sensor, you need a specific gap. The function of the gap is control the RPMs. Okay, how that mechanism to adjust the gap in between the gear and the sensor works? Julian, this is a great design. Yes. Because you have a double nuts, one to fix the position and the second one to adjust. You lose the second one, you adjust the position and you tight. That's perfect, because with that procedure you can keep the gap. The gap in this design should be around 1 millimeter with filler gauge, and you adjust the gap guide with this wonderful Colombian mechanism. That's perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Great. Nice, no? It's a wonderful element, and it's easy to attach in the bell housing. That was the control to keep the crankshaft position sensor working. Additionally, the motor have a sensor for temperature of the case of the motor. They have a sensor, and they have another sensor for the frequency. Remember that it's a three-phase motor, and the control of the RPMs will be with a frequency driver. The frequency driver connected to the gas pedal will be the element that accelerate and decelerate. They have the sensor for the frequency and for temperature. And they integrate those sensors with the actual sensor of the car, the gasoline car. And ready, they replace the air condition, the original air condition equipment of the car. Remember that the air condition compressor in a vehicle is driving by belt and drive the compressor, and the compressor engage or disengage with an electronic clutch. They replace all of them for a 12 volts compressor motor, and they integrate that compressor with the original air condition system, and the car is working with a perfect air condition. They create a bracket for the new compressor. They solve it easily, that situation. Exactly the same with the power steering system. They integrate the hydraulic pump with an electric hydraulic pump. Finito. The project is ready, and now I want to show the process to install the motor with the flange in the position on the bell housing, the process to align and the process to connect the rest of the system. In the next episode, we are going to do that process, the process to install the motor and the process to connect all the accessories, the harness, the battery bank, and in the next coming episode, I am going to explain in details the battery bank and the procedure to create the box for the new compartment for battery bank, and some modifications that they did with the springs, the coils, the shock absorbers in the suspension of the car, because right now the weight changed. The original car, the maximum weight was in front because the engine. Right now the maximum weight will be in the back, in the rear of the car, because the battery bank will be located over there. That's why the center of gravity changed, and there are advantages and disadvantages of that movement, the movement of the center of gravity. I will explain in next coming episodes that process. Okay guys, for today, this is the first part of this series of videos, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, make a click, please. Visit our website, the website of Sena, and the website of mrlopezclasses.com or Marine Technical Training Academy. For us, it's important you retrofit, your evaluation, your opinion if you have more questions. Thank you guys.